Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allah Haganawa, Yahweh, Achad, Shemai, Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allah Haganawa, Yahweh, Achad, Shemai, Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allah Haganawa, Yahweh, Achad, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Bahashira Kaha Kodash. I want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone Ruel, as well as peace and blessings, health and wellness in the house of everything elect. I was a high spirit wind lawyer. And today I want to go into various topics, but one of the main topics is, Esau ruined humanity. He ruined life. All right, I'm listening to Elder Apostle Gabar's video about the word prostitute and how we live in hookup culture, all right? And how Nate, he basically slanders us by saying we sleep with prostitutes, but he says it in the sense that as though we're in the 1950s, all right? The word prostitute has such impact, all right, when we live in a paradigm where it was expected what women reserve themselves for a man. When people said, get you a woman, or go find you a wife, there was a connotation of go find you a helpmeet. So there are two different things going on. For one, women are no longer helpmeets for a man, all right, and they're no longer virgins, okay? There's a philosopher that once said a woman could be two things, a wife or a prostitute, all right? So when these things are being said, you have to understand context of times and understand the different movements that took place in America that caused a shift in the mindset and consequently the behavior of people. All right, you have something as a result of feminism called women's sexual liberation. So what does it mean to be sexually liberated? That means that you're no longer expected by society to reserve yourself for marriage. All right, Shalom, brother Yahweh, Bahashim Hamashai, Bahashim Akaku, that's Brakatah. You're no longer reserving yourself for one man. All right, now here's the science. It's scientifically proven that women who have multiple sexual partners can no longer pair bond. All right, so what studies were done on women in marriages before and after women's sexual revolution, and they found that women who married when they were virgins married by American standard. Women who married when they were virgins had the longest lasting marriage. Women who had maybe one or two partners and then got married, they had the second longest duration of marriage. But women who had multiple sexual partners and then got married, these were the women who had short-lived marriages. These were the women who initiated divorce. And these were studies done maybe 30, 40, 50 years ago at the advent of women's sexual revolution. So how much more now? See, there is never supposed to be a life before marriage, because marriage was supposed to be a woman's life. Traditionally, that was supposed to be a woman's imperative. You see? So Esau has this system. In his world, there's no systems put in place for a woman to get married within her virginity. All right? There's a scripture in Sirach, the 42nd chapter, how it tells you how a father, he worries about his daughter, that she will get married in her virginity, and he fears that she'll become pregnant while he still lives with her. And that happens all the time. You have women who they still live with their mom and dad, right? Or they live with their dad and they have multiple babies because the dad has a stable home. So she'll have babies by pookies and shit. But she'll have the babies while she's still living with her parents, because that's where the stability is. All right? So going back to the concept that we sleeping with prostitutes, well, the scripture says your wife should be a harlot in the city. All right? So you have different spaces like clubs where prostitution is at hand, because what are the women doing? First of all, they're playing dress up, all right? They're dressing sexually provocative like a prostitute in turn to get a sexual mate or get free drinks and free food. but it's still a form of prostitution. All right. Same thing with bars. Same thing with. To be honest, as soon as you leave the house, you're really at a club. As soon as you leave the house, you're at a club, because women, they're all dressing sexually provocatively. Now, the hustle of a prostitute was to entice you sexually to get your money, and that was the whole point. They entice you sexually to have sex to get your money. Now modern dating is, if you want to date me, then there are usually financial prerequisites to dating a so-called baddie. There's usually financial prerequisites to dating a so-called baddie. And you hear them say the same thing: must be generous, must not be cheap. All right, this is a product of women's sexual revolution. Well, you have a hybrid scenario. You have women who don't call themselves prostitutes, but they have the same schemes, they have the same baits as a prostitute, but they ultimately still are open to marriage by this world standard. But sex is marriage. You have a marriage all the time. That's why it says it should be as the days of Noah. There will be drinking, marrying. All right. And if you're a brother, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and you mess with these women out here, you can attest that most chicks, they're gonna eventually ask for cash out. Most chicks you fucking with, right? This little chick you fucking with, at some point she gonna start asking you for cash out, man. She gonna start asking you to send something on cash out. Oh, you got $10, you got $20, you got $15. All right? And most chicks you fucking with out here, they sexually promiscuous. All right? You see? So they'll shame us and say, yeah, hey, they say you can deal with prostitutes, man. The reason why a nigga look at you funny for saying you pay for sex, which a lot of niggas pay for sex too, because niggas are adulterers, nigga. You know how easy it is to commit adultery out here? You see a woman that like you and shit, and she giggling and smiling, and you say you got a man, and she's like, yeah, I got a man, or I got a, like, you know how easy it is? But you're a man of the Lord, so that's where you that's where you depart ways. But niggas don't have to do it because they are adulterers. But niggas still do it, But that's just a perception thing, man. That's a perception thing, man. All right. But Esau, through feminism, destroyed the house, man. He destroyed the household, man. Because there was never supposed to be an interval between a woman being under her father and a woman being under a man. There was never supposed to be a gap. But that gap is college. And that's assuming she didn't do anything in high school, which realistically women are doing things in high school. And if you have like a man that's 30 messing with a 19-year-old, you look at them weird. But if that same 19-year-old get dug out in college, nobody says anything. It's how you are programmed to react. Like older women, I've been watching certain platforms like Coach Greg Adams, and he was talking how older women get upset when a man her age dates down to like a woman that's 20, and they call that like a predator. So let's say you 35 and she 21, then you look down on that. But they get mad because those old hoes thought they could play the field in their 20s and they can get married at 35 and say, well, I'm 35, you're 35, we should both be ready to settle down. Like, no. It's against the feminine imperative, that little feminism shit. No, you date down. You get a younger woman. I mean, a brother can do what the fuck he want to do, but you see what I'm saying? When you do things that's in your best interest, and really in the woman, within your best interest, and it also benefits the woman too. When you do things in they demonize you, man. All right? But they're gonna use that against Great Millstone, the prostitute thing, the PDF file thing. They're gonna use all that shit, man. But people are gonna react based off how they were programmed to react. All right. This is an adulterous nation. All right. The problem ain't paying for sex. The problem is adultery. All right. Even in the ancient world, you bought a woman. Like your wife, you bought her. You bought her. The great thing, all right. The great thing was you break, you buy policy. You took it. You defile my daughter. Oh, that's your property now. You break, you buy. You walking inside the store and you got a bag of cookies and you start eating on it before you pay. Oh, that's your bag of cookies now, nigga. You walk inside the store and open up a bag of Oreos and start eating the Oreos and put it back on the shelf. That's American culture. No, nigga. You open up that bag of Oreos before you got to the register, which would be the ceremony. Nigga, that's you buy it. You buy the whole bag. Then you had another law pertaining to virginity. You bought the bag of Oreos and it looked like it was sealed, but when you opened it, there was some cookies missing. So now we got to get rid of the whole package. And now the store owner is ashamed that he sold you that shit unknowingly to him. You see? But if you break this shit down, dummy, because really you're supposed to buy your wife because you bought a gender role, you bought an employee, you bought a helpmeet, you bought a helpmeet. All women are bought, man. So either way it go, you paying for a service. Now what they did, they outsourced the gender woman. And now you go to a hotel and you see a woman's role being played out as a housekeeper. Now what did it say in the scriptures that a woman was? A keeper of the house. So you see women in a hotel taking your sheets, all right? Folding clothes, folding sheets, washing clothes. That's an actual woman. When you go to a restaurant, all right, and you have a waiter, well, if you look at the word woman in Genesis, it really means stand by or stand before. A woman literally waits. Your woman literally is supposed to wait on your order originally. Okay? But they outsourced they outsource the gender role of a woman. So you see it compartmentalized. You drop your little ones off at a daycare. No, those women are playing the roles of wives. You know, you take a sick person to a hospital, those nurses, they're playing the roles of wives. But they outsource our women through something called feminism. So now women are being groomed because when you get a younger woman as an older man, they say, oh, you're grooming her. But in actuality, when you go to college, you're being groomed to do the same shit that's for a corporation as opposed to one man. You see? And by the way, prostitution is illegal because Esau can't get taxes off of it. How can it be legal in one state and illegal in another state? They did with prostitution what they did with marijuana. Marijuana was illegal because Esau couldn't get taxes off of it. A nigga growing marijuana in his backyard, Esau couldn't get taxes off that shit. So now in certain states it's legal because you can get it from a dispensary. And this dispensary is within a store that gets taxed by the government. You see? Or if you can legally grow marijuana, of course the government gets taxed from that land that you own. You see? So a brothel, Esau could get tax off that shit. But Keisha selling ass in the hotel, Esau can't get taxed off that shit. So that's another reason why it has a negative connotation. But check this out, going back to marijuana, which we don't smoke marijuana. Who died from marijuana? You know? But 480,000 Americans die every year from cigarettes. So why isn't that illegal? Another 40,000 on top of that die from secondhand smoke from cigarettes. Why isn't that illegal? because a nigga ain't finna make a tobacco plant that's finna outsell Newport, Marlboro, Camel, whatever you call it. So there's already like a monopoly somewhat on that. You can't compete with those companies, man. They got that drug down pat. But marijuana, nobody dies from that shit. And niggas have literally had their houses broken up for that, you see? Jake has really had his house broken up for that shit, man. Jake literally did years in prison for marijuana. Am I right or wrong? The standard American diet catching more bodies than anything. Why is Popeyes legal? That's a drug. These Wendy's, McDonald's, those are fucking drugs. That's a trap house. And you pulling up at the window just like a bando, just like an abandoned trap house, man. You see? But Esau program your mind and have you thinking that this is bad, but then he turn around and sells you this, which is even worse. It's okay for the average woman to be sexually promiscuous, but it's not okay to pay for sex. It's okay for a woman to have a fans only, have twerking videos on the internet, on social media, or to broadcast her body, but it's not okay to pay for sex. It's okay for the average woman to put stipulations, financial stipulations on different men dating her for sex, but it's not okay to directly pay for sex. You see? Babao, the city of confusion, man. You see? But when you say certain words, it creates certain emotions in people, like prostitution and all that, man. But like I said, I have been watching other Pascabar's videos, and it's just a spin-off from it, man. You know, like I said, in real time, because Nate, we live in the real world. And in Babylon, you mess with most females, they're going to ask you for cash out. Man, you got $10, you got $20, and that's y'all up here playing boyfriend, girlfriend. All right. And a lot of chicks that you fucking with, especially you fucking with these little young chicks out here, for you it might be some little fake relationship shit, but oftentimes these chicks are selling pussy to somebody else. While you a dude they like, but they selling pussy to somebody else, man. We talking about Eve out here, you know. These niggas out here paying rent and light bills. And then she got the dude she like, man. Or dude she like, you see? Your wife should be a harlot in the city, man. We live in the real world, man. We live in reality. We live in the prophecies, man. We're not saying every woman is like that. Or every woman is, a woman couldn't used to be like that, now she no longer like that. That's very true. But in general, man, like the apostle said, we have a hookup culture. We have a hookup culture, man. The internet changed the game. Social media changed the game. Dating apps changed the game. It changed the game, man. But hey, with that, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, I want to give out honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashon, Chahakodash. I also want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone Ruel, as well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. I want to say this too. I was watching this Indian movie because I used to watch a lot of Elon movies, right? And it was one movie, it was like an arranged marriage. As a matter of fact, I could be wrong, but the name of the movie may have been called The Arrangement. I can't remember at this point. But it was an arranged marriage. But the Elamite man, kind of, you know, he had that Western thing where he wanted to feel like it was something special about him when a woman first met him. Although it was an arranged marriage, he wanted to have that. He was like, was it something special about me when you first saw me? And she was like, I liked your shoes. I liked your shoes you had. And it kind of disappointed him. See, Esau put that whole love at first sight and all that. And although that can't happen, like you could meet a woman and know like, okay, I'm gonna get her. But Esau sold that Western narrative. You know, you bought a woman and y'all grew in love. Your parents arranged the marriage and y'all grew into love. So like I said, he asked the woman, when you first met me doing the arrangement, was there something special about me? And she was like, yeah, you had nice shoes. But I'm just saying that because, you know, Esau put this whole, you know, Disney thing out, and you know, in the homeland, you grew in love, man. You know, those gender roles they complemented each other. You see? But hey, with that, I hope your brothers are edified and sisters. Hey, to the next time, shalom.